Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Today I want to talk about a collection of Fallout photos I have from 1994 through 1997. It's a fun Friday, I dug these up, I figured I'd show them here. Now I've done two videos with photos on them. One was scenes from a life in game development, the other was snapshots throughout my career, and they're below. I also did a Fallout timeline, I'll link that below. Some of these photos have appeared, a few of these have appeared in some of those, but not all of these photos have been shown. This is basically, I was going through my really big archive. I have several thousand photos. I was trying to find more photos taken of Fallout team members during that time. You have to remember, though, that the earliest I acquired a digital camera was a Sony digital camera in 2003, which I used to go on the Temple of Elemental Evil press event in London. And then about a year and a half later, because that was late 2003, I got a Nokia flip phone that had a cell phone camera in it. Took horrible photos, but that wasn't until 2005. So instead what I did is I scoured through all the scanned photos that I have, because obviously between 94 and 97 it would have been an actual film photo. And all my I've scanned all the pictures I have, but sometimes people at work would take pictures and scan them and send them out to the team. I went through everything. I went through my interplay folders. I even went through my family folders and some of the subfolders on Christmas just to look to see if I could find any pictures. And I found some. So let's take a look at these. This is every photo that I own that shows any team member from the original Fallout between the years of 1994 and 1997. So let's get started. Okay, this one is me. This is when I went home for Christmas in 1994. So at this time, Fallout had just gotten started. I think I had two people on the team, Jason Taylor and Jason Anderson. I was excited to go home for Christmas. Now you may be going, Tim, that's not Christmas. You're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Oh, yes, it was Christmas, and I can explain. If you don't believe me, if you look over on the left, you can see presents, and there's even a Santa doll sitting on a chair over there. It was Christmas. I had arrived the night before. It was really warm in California, and I just wore shorts and a t-shirt to the airport because I wasn't thinking. So when I got there, I called home and said, hey, Mom, can you bring my winter coat when you come to pick me up? She was picking me up at National. It was just a few miles from where I grew up in Alexandria. No big deal. Except when my mom was leaving, my sister Dina said, I want to go, and she called shotgun, which is important for later. Then my other sister, Cheryl, I want to go too. And then her two daughters, my two nieces, wanted to come. So there were 5 people in the car coming to pick me up. It was a 5-seater car. So I show up, I come out the front of the airport, and there's my mom's car, and it's filled. I throw my suitcase in the trunk, and then I'm like, where am I supposed to sit? And of course my nieces squish over and Cheryl sits over. I'm not a small person, so I squeeze in there and I'm sitting in the back, and I'm like, hey Mom, you brought my winter coat, right? She said, I forgot. So I got to drive home. I can't say it was cold because that car was really hot with all those people in there, but I had to drive home all squished. Went to bed that night. When I got up the next morning, I don't think I'd even unpacked, so I just put back on the shorts and t-shirt I'd worn out. By the way, that t-shirt from Game Developers Conference in 1994. So that dates me right there. The next photo, this is a team photo. Interestingly, it was dated. The caption on it said it was taken in 1996, not the EXIF data, but just the back of the picture. This could not have been 96 because Scott Campbell, who's seated in front, looks like he's wearing a tie, but it's just a jacket. He's got the sunglasses on. He left in September of 95. So I think this was taken around August. So let me tell you everybody. So that's Scott Campbell sitting in front. From left to right, that's Brian Fryermuth, Leonard Borarsky, Jesse Reynolds, me, Jason Taylor, Jason Anderson, Michael Dean, and Fred Hatch. That's the entire Fallout team as of probably late summer of 1995. This is shortly thereafter. This is either late 95 or very early 96. And you may be thinking, but that would place it in late fall or winter. Why are you all in t-shirts? Because it's Southern California. Like I said, you always wore shorts and t-shirts. It's almost a mandatory uniform. The team had gotten bigger, and we took this right outside Interplay. That's how I know it couldn't have been later in 96 because we moved to another building. So this was taken on the Fitch address. So the front row was me, Michael Dean, Chris Jones, Jason Anderson, Jesse Reynolds, and Nick Kesting. And the back row is Scott Everts, Leonard Borarsky, Gary Plattner, Chris Taylor, and Fred Hatch. That's how big we had grown. We had added just a few more people since the summer of 95, but we were getting there. Then this photo was taken photo was taken later in 96. You see the back of me. I'm talking with Chris Taylor, who's sitting there looking perturbed. I don't know what. And I'm looking over to my left. That's Scott Everett's desk. Scott had the neatest desk at Interplay. Everything was in its exact place. And if you moved anything, he would move it back. He liked everything where it was. I probably came in to check on the status of something. I don't know. I don't even know who took this. Like, who walked down the hall and snapped this photo behind my back? I don't know. This is another picture of the same office of Chris later on. It's obviously not the same day. He's wearing different clothes. He's explaining something. He looks bemused. You can see how big the monitors were back then. And even back then, I'm like, these monitors are too big. I can't wait for tech to advance. Chris had his own laser printer. I don't know if he printed out design docs. I know that back then we had a very limited local area network, so we often used SneakerNet to get things back and forth to people. This is the same office. This would be taken from Chris's point of view. That's me, and to the right is T. Ray Isaac, who did a lot of the Vault Boy cartoons. He also did the Overseer death animation at the very end of Fallout if you chose to kill the Overseer. I don't know what I'm saying, but this is the photo that Chris Jones used to make my exploding head in the Fallout credits, if you know how to do that. Boom. And then this is a photo, I'm not sure who took it, but I remember somebody sent me a scan of it. This is a picture of, I believe that might be Morpheus in the upper left and Super Mutant in the bottom right. These were the two clay heads that were used that we scanned and animated them for dialogue. These were on display behind glass in the Interplay lobby. This photo was probably taken in early 97 because this is the new lobby on Von Karman. There was a video I was in, Three Dog. They basically came to the studio and filmed the team. You can see the team isn't much bigger than previous ones. I mean, that's T-Ray, and behind him is Robert Collier. That's about as big as we are, and everyone's waving, and I think I said, "I'm a jelly donut" in German. There was some more video. I'm not going to show all that. The funny thing about that was I didn't get a whole lot of heads up they were coming, so that was a very spur of the moment kind of thing that happened. This next photo is later in 97. This is the whole team. You can see we got more people very quickly. That was thanks to Fergus. Fergus was like, we're not getting this game out unless you guys have more people. And so we got scripters. You can see Robert Hertenstein sitting in front. Next to Chris Taylor and Nick Kesting is another scripter, Dave Hendy. Jess Hennig is saluting for some reason. I'm trying to think if there's anybody you wouldn't know. That's Eddie Rainwater and Scott Rodenheiser, artists. Scott made the clay heads. Scott and Eddie animated a lot of them. Behind Jesse Reynolds, you can see Tim Hume, who did the Mac programming. Kevin Weatherman, another programmer. I'm having trouble seeing. Jason Swin, he's the guy who suggested that we be called Special and not A-Slips. And then the only other person, this is the first time I think we actually have a photo that shows Sharon Shellman, who is Jason Anderson's wife. She helped us with some 3D modeling. This is a picture of me after I helped a friend move into his house. I thought this was 96. The picture says it was 97. We had just moved into his house, several moves. He had so much stuff. I plopped down exhausted on the couch. Someone handed me a giant apple, a not a snow sled. It was one of those circular ones that you have absolutely no control over, and put a sombrero on my head and took that photo. I'm about to pass out from exhaustion. But that's me in 1997. This is Jesse Reynolds. I can tell from the picture behind him, he's in my office. I don't know who took the picture. I don't know what we were talking about. But this is one of the few photos I have of just Jesse by himself. This is the picture. I know you've seen it before. It's me wearing the bag on my head. Jesse had gone to Burger King and picked up something for me, and I put the bag on my head and I wrote King on it. And later on, he came in and told me that I had broken the build, Your Highness. This is a picture I know I've shown. This is my office. I've shown this before. That's Nick Kesting. He's eating cinnamon bread that I fresh baked every morning, probably for the last few months in the run-up for us releasing. I'd come in really early. I'd usually get in around 7. I'd bring fresh bread. Anybody who got in, first come, first serve. Nick was always there. T-Ray tried to get in early. He begged me to save him a slice. I'm like, first come, first serve. And you can say I had the big Fallout foam core and the oversized Fallout box. I had that in my office at that point. So it was after E3. So this is after March of 97. And then I said there wasn't going to be any more photos after we shipped, but this is a photo of my family taken in Thanksgiving. So we had just shipped a month and a half before, 2 months before. I was exhausted. I flew home. That's me in the front right, sitting down. That's my brother there on the left. And then in the back is my sister Cheryl, my mom, my brother Jeff, and my other sister Dina. So we were all just taking a photo of Thanksgiving. And I think there was one last photo. Oh, this was a still from the video. And I don't know why it was dated so late in the year, but maybe they sent it to me. It's just a picture of me from that video that 3Dog took that I showed earlier. And that literally is every photo that shows anybody who worked on Fallout between January of 94 and the end of 1997. So I hope you liked it. I hope you got a glimpse into what development looked like in the 90s. And I hope that was a nice, fun Friday video for you.